Pender County, North Carolina. On the surface, it is a quiet community where hardworking families are grappling with skyrocketing property tax valuations and a crushing $2.7 million shortfall for their public schools. But beneath the surface lies a tangled, hidden web of political favors, taxpayer cash, and sudden resignations. At the center of it all is County Commissioner Reverend Dr. Jimmy Tate. He is a man who passionately preaches fiscal conservatism to the public, but his own financial records tell a startlingly different story. Here, we follow the taxpayer money. If budgets are statements of priorities, then the taxpayers of Pender County might want to look exactly at who is being prioritized. Meet Mount Calvary Leadership Development Corporation. Billed as a rural youth organization, it is operated by Commissioner Reverend Dr. Jimmy Tate. According to its latest IRS filings, the nonprofit pulled in over $2.4 million in annual revenue. Dig a little deeper, and the source of that windfall becomes clear. The organization raked in over $1.85 million in taxpayer-funded grants over just the last 2 years. But where exactly are those tax dollars going? The records reveal it certainly isn't all going to the youth. Out of millions in revenue, a mere $43,417 was spent on program activities and youth trips. Meanwhile, a staggering $1.64 million was swallowed by administrative overhead, travel, and staff compensation. The biggest beneficiaries appear to be Jimmy Tate and his sister, Mary Lisa Robinson. In a single year, the two executives paid themselves a combined $371,859. Jimmy's sister, acting as secretary, took home over $191,000, including a massive bonus. Commissioner Tate himself pocketed over $180,000. And for how much work? According to Jimmy Tate's own IRS filings, signed by his own sister, Jimmy clocks just 25 hours a week at the nonprofit. That breaks down to nearly $140 an hour, funded directly by the taxpayer, all while the organization cleared a $728,249 profit and ended the year sitting on over $1 million in cash. But the exorbitant salaries were just the beginning. The deeper the investigations dug, the darker the rabbit hole became. The nonprofit's license to operate as a charity in North Carolina was expired. Federal tax filings admitted to being filed late due to accounting failures. Furthermore, Tate is listed as the registered agent for at least 10 separate corporations. Several have faced forced administrative dissolution by the Secretary of State for failing to comply with state law. One is even slapped with a notification of revenue suspension by the Department of Revenue back in 2013. With red flags everywhere, why wasn't the local media asking questions? Enter Andy and Katie Pettigrew and their local paper, the Pender Post. Pettigrew, who calls himself the Watchman on the Wall, maintains dozens of pending public records requests targeting his political rivals. But miraculously, he has filed 0 requests targeting Jimmy Tate. Coincidentally, Tate's nonprofit spent nearly $32,000 on advertising over just 2 years. Critics are now asking, was part of that taxpayer money used to buy a media smokescreen? The walls started closing in. A local citizen advocacy group, the Outdoorsmen of Pender County, started demanding baseline transparency. They didn't ask for a resignation. They just wanted Reverend Dr. Tate to do the math. Jimmy Tate suffers from what his critics jokingly call chronic resignation syndrome, having abruptly stepped down from office twice, once in 2015 and then quitting again in 2023 after just 30 days in office. And in explaining his most recent resignation, Reverend Dr. Tate openly called Pender County Republicans racist and homophobic. Then, on June 15th, just days after his nonprofit's financials were exposed by the Outdoorsmen of Pender County, Tate shocked the boardroom. He abruptly asked to terminate his annual county grant of nearly $40,000 that he had been receiving for years.
Okay, I'm asking that the JCPC budget be removed for, I think, the $38,000. I know it's not Pender County money and it's passed through to to Mount Calvary to run that program for the juvenile justice, but we can actually do it without this dollar, so we don't, I'm going to ask today, I'll explain it to my board later, but just remove Mount Calvary from that JCPC funding. Then we will get $0 from Pender County.
Critics called this immediate termination a clear admission of guilt. Just days later, he mysteriously canceled the high-dollar, $125 a ticket charity fundraiser on his farm, citing an unforeseen early morning emergency. But state records suggest a different emergency. His Tate Farm Community Garden charity was completely unlicensed to solicit charitable contributions. Selling those advance tickets was possibly illegal. Taxpayers are paying the price. The local newspaper publisher is busy suing the county for 6 figures to protect his own lucrative advertising deal. Meanwhile, a public official is stonewalling his constituents. The citizens of Pender County are not asking for Jimmy Tate to resign. They are simply asking for accountability. The question is, what is he hiding?